Okay, so the last step to this process for the quiz is going to be to create a trial balance. And we're just going to use the first couple columns of this paper here. All right, so I'm going to start. These are all in order: the cash, the assets, to the liabilities, to the equity accounts, to the revenue, to the expenses. All right, so there's five parts to this. Let's start with cash. So I'm going to write in cash, and my balance is a debit balance of cash for $20,980. All right, it can only be on one side. This is an asset, so it's got to go on the debit side. Accounts receivable, I'm going to abbreviate a little bit for the sake of time, and we're going to have a $300 balance for accounts receivable. Again, staying in order. Supplies is going to be a balance of $250. Okay, and I believe those are all of the assets that I had listed there. So then I go into my liabilities. All right, so that's accounts payable. And I'm going to abbreviate a little bit here. And that's going to be a zero balance, so I don't have to put anything. Unearned revenue. It's a $500 credit balance now, okay, because that's a liability, so it's got to go on the credit side. Notes payable is a $1,000 balance. Again, that's a payable, it's an obligation, so it's a liability. It balances on the credit side. All right, and then I had telephone payable. And I had a balance of $160 for that. All right, so there are all my liabilities. The accounts payable didn't have a balance, but the rest of them did have a balance on the credit side. All right, now I move to my equity accounts. Capital stock, I'm just going to put CS if that's okay. And I'm going to put $20,000 on the credit side for capital stock. All right, retained earnings is going to carry a debit balance for now. Normally that's a credit balance, but we didn't know what its previous amount was, so we're just going to leave it at that for the trial balance. Later on it would carry a new balance because of our adjusting and closing entries. All right, fees revenue is going to be our revenue account, so that's going to get a credit balance of $650. And then we start our expenses. And telephone expense. All right, so the utility expense is going to be $270, and the telephone expense will be $160. All right, so there's our trial balance. Let's go ahead and see if these add up. All right, so I'll start on the debit side, $2,980. Let me clear this out just in case. 20,980 plus 300 plus 250 plus 300 plus 270 plus 160. So 22,260. And then we'll go to the other side, 500 plus 1,000 plus 60 plus 2,000 plus 650. Yeah, what did I do wrong here? Okay, class, I had a blunder here on the cash. My cash should have been 21,000. This should have been a 50, 21,030. So I miscalculated. And sometimes that happens if your trial balance doesn't work. Just go back and double check to make sure your accounts were added up the right way. So I just went back 22,300. This should be 22,310. And then this is 22,310 for that. Okay, so so again, sometimes if your trial balance doesn't work, just go back and make sure you added these correctly. And here's what I did wrong. Um, this came out to 21,850 minus the 820 gave me the 21,030 balance for cash. All right, so again, sometimes that happens. I just went back and re-added cash and found out that that was the first account that I did wrong. Tried it again and everything worked out. So, all right, so there's your answer for the trial balance. That's what your trial balance should look like. Again, your debit side has to equal your credit side. And some of you guys were putting debits and credits in there. You can only have a debit balance or a credit balance for the accounts. All right, so I'm not going to be in class today. Go back and check these last three parts. Again, I'll show the answer keys for all of them real quick here. So again, here are your journal entries before they were or after they were posted. But there's that, and then I posted those to the accounts. So here are your T account balances. And then once you're done posting those to the T accounts, then you write up your trial balance and make sure your debit side equals your credit side. And it doesn't always mean that it's right, but it at least means that your debit balances equal your credit balances. It doesn't save us from knowing if we debited or credited the wrong accounts or if these balances are wrong. All this is saying to us is that at least we have our debits equaling our credits at the end of the period, which is usually a pretty good sign. Okay. All right, so go ahead and take a look at these, and I will allow you to make up the quiz later on in the week, and then you guys can fix what was wrong, and we'll go from there. Okay. Thank you. See you guys tomorrow.